Good morning. It is Saturday morning live from LaFate Gallery Vision Center, 227 North Market Street in Wilmington, Delaware. Let me credit the music. It is the music of Steel Drum Island, Volume 1. That is Caribbean Steel Band music. Okay, so welcome to LaFate Gallery, Saturday morning live. And this one is very, very special. It's not an art class. I'm hosting a class here today, but it's a class about business skills. I think you know by now that the month of August is National Black Business Month. Let me take you outside and show you my banner that I created for that. Okay, so here's my A board right here, and on the A board it says August, National Black Business Month. Well, August finishes tomorrow, and it has been a month-long celebration of LaFate Gallery, and I've been encouraging you to support black businesses, not just my own, to support all black businesses. Did you support any black business during the month of August? Well, if you didn't, for me, Black Business Month is 365. I don't confine it to any one month. So if you did not support LaFate Gallery yet, it's a time. Matter of fact, you have from now through October, because October is the 9th. Oh, make that 10th. It's the 10th anniversary of LaFate Gallery. Good morning if you're just joining me. Welcome. Hi, Shirley. Welcome. It is Saturday morning live from LaFate Gallery Vision Center. And this morning I'm hosting a business skills class for kids. I'm trying to make kids to be entrepreneurs. They are the future generation and they must learn business skills. The class actually begins at 11:30. It is sponsored and paid for by a local bank. Shout out to M&T Bank in Wilmington, Delaware for generously sponsoring this class where 10 children are going to be coming in. Children and youth, because it's from 6 to 16. Why 6? I'm going to tell you in a moment. 10 children and youth are coming in for this class. And I had the class sponsored because I wanted children to learn about business. It's appropriate, it's Black Business Month. Learn about business. You could grow up to be a business person. And back to why 6 to 16. It was at age 7 that I discovered my artistic talent. Didn't have the luxury of paints or brushes, etc. But I had the luxury of my wall. I had the luxury of fire, charcoal, wood that we burned. I had the luxury of a pencil. I had pen and ink and paper to create work. And yes, I started at age 7. And back then, back then was so great. We played school. And the older siblings would ask that big question, and what do you want to be when you grow up? At age 7, I declared that I wanted to be a teacher and an artist. And look at me today. I am still a teacher. I'm a lifelong educator. I'm no longer in the classroom, but I'm still teaching. And as to being an artist, I am not your ordinary artist. Toot my horn. I am local, national, and internationally recognized for my art. And I'm honored and humbled to share that. I was inducted. That's my most recent award. Let's take it over so you can see it here. Last October, I was inducted in the Delaware Business Leaders Hall of Fame. Here's my recognition. Delaware Business Leaders Hall of Fame inductee, a laureate, and that was by Junior Achievement. So yes, I have had quite a few esteemed awards. Well, back to the children and back to today. The class today is The Art of Business, learning basic business skills. And I'm going to be walking these children and youth. Actually, I'm taking them on a business journey from age 7 up to now. I told you age 7 now. When I was a child, growing up in beautiful Jamaica, we had a patch of flowers, of that beautiful morning glory flowers. That's what inspired me. And the petals open in the morning naturally, but they close Jamaica time, 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, those petals close, and I would stand up and watch the petals close. We named it for the morning opening of the petals, Get Up and Kiss Me. And then for the afternoon, when the petals closed, we know it was 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, Jamaica time. So that's my morning glory. And so I started looking around the landscape, the trees, the beauty of the island. I started drawing, creating art. And as I said, my first canvas was the wall of my home. And later on, one of my siblings gave me a notebook that I could make, because my dad would paint the wall and I would be messing it up. So I could do that. The journey began at age 7. When I became a teenager, my mom, she was a great entrepreneur, and she passed those skills on to me. She passed the skill also of storytelling. We lived near to the elementary school, and my mom used to make coconut cakes. And we would, on our recess time, we'd go home and get the cake and sell it at the school. They love my mom. We call it drops. If you're Jamaican, you know what that means. And then when I became a teenager, my mom said, I want you to take over this business. She gave me the business. And now it was my turn, and I made the coconut cakes. It was made from coconut. You cut it up fine, cut up ginger, and you boil it with the sugar until it was thick, and you put it out. And we used to put it on a banana leaf, and they turn it over, and they're ready. Okay, so I sold the coconut cakes, and I was getting rich because back then, £5, we were under the British system of money, of currency. And one weekend, I counted my money and I made £5. Oh, that's a lot of money. My other siblings were a little jealous of me. And then I hired one of my siblings and my cousin. I hired them to help me with the business, and they had to go to the place to buy the coconut. One weekend they had a strike on me. I had to go get it myself. That's exciting. So, my skills developed over the years. I went to college to be a teacher, trained as a teacher, and yes, in college I took history as my major, and I did basic art as elective. But I'm a self-taught artist. I only learned the basic skills of line, shapes, and colors. In college, everything else I taught myself. And then after that, I became a teacher of art, and I carried on. And the journey continues. How did I move from a hobby? Because my art was a hobby. How did I turn a hobby into a business? Here's the story behind that. In 1992, a friend of mine, Dr. J. Macklin, invited me to be part of a fundraiser to raise money for the Walnut Street YMCA in Wilmington, Delaware. And I told her I don't beg where we're from, and I can't beg. And she prodded me, and I said, okay, let me pray about if I have a vision, I'll raise the money. Well, I had a vision to paint again. And I started painting, and we had an auction at the Walnut Street YMCA, and we made good money. Then later that year, there was a Black Achievers in Business Industry banquet, and I donated one of my paintings to the guest speaker, the Reverend Bill Gray from Philadelphia. That evening, at it was the Radisson Hotel or Holiday Inn downtown, a friend of mine from Mellon Bank tapped me on the shoulder after I'd made the presentation, and she said, "Girl, there is a magazine here, and they just saw your presentation. They're going to want to talk with you." Well, I didn't wait for them to talk with me. I pursued them. That was none other than Out and About magazine. I contacted Jerry Dufilly, and they commissioned me to do a cover page for the May 1993 magazine. This was the cover that I created, and this went all over the state of Delaware, and I was getting calls from all over for people wanting me to show my art. Then one friend of mine came up to an event where I was vending my art, and she said she had a copy of the magazine. She brought the magazine, and she said, she held it out to me. She said, "Who's managing your business?" I said, "What business, girl? This is a hobby." She said, "With this magazine, you're going to go places." Well, I've gone places. She was right. She said, "Oh, you're selling your art. If you take people's check and people's money, the IRS will come after you. You have to pay taxes." I said, "What are we talking about?" She said, "Well, if you have a business, you can write off your expenses." She said, "I'll be your business manager." She went up to the Carvel State Building in Wilmington. She took out a business license and licensed me as a business, LaFate Gallery, on the 8th of August, 1993. So LaFate Gallery officially is 32 years old. But I didn't have a storefront then. I was taking my art to various locations and events to vend the art. I didn't sell from my home. And then, in 2015, I had the most difficult challenge of my lifetime. My dear husband of 31 years passed away to cancer. I'd been his caregiver. He had beat cancer for 21 years, but he passed from cancer. I was faced with the most challenging decision of my life. What do I do? I was told, "Put your art in storage, move to New York." I said, "I'm not doing that." I prayed and had divine intervention. And I had the vision to open a gallery. And I came up to this block, went down to the leasing office, asked them if they had space. They said, "There is a charter school there, but it's going to be available in July." This was in June of 2015. My husband passed in May. And I came up to this space, and I looked around. I saw the walls. All around, I saw the walls, and I said, "This is it." And I went back to them and said, "I want to sign the lease." So I signed the lease for this space, and I opened LaFate Gallery on the 30th of September 2015. Now 10 years. Get ready for that. So I am celebrating the 10th anniversary of LaFate Gallery. 10 years. I'm going to celebrate it in October, which is the 10th month, which is also my birthday month. So I call it 10, 10, 10, triple 10. Okay. It's exciting. So back to today's class. The children are coming in to learn business skills. So I am going to be showing them my business license. That's my business license for the city of Wilmington, my business license for the state of Delaware, the logo for my business, and the task they'll they'll be required to do is to create we're going to chat about being business and what they want to be when they grow up and what type of business they would like to set up. And they're going to create a logo for their business, a symbol that represents their business. Now, the class begins at 11:30, but I have one student here already. His grandpa brought him in, and I gave him some work to do while we are waiting on the others. And this is my student here, Ellis. And he's creating some work there. Ellis, what's your age again? How old are you?
7.
He's 7. Oh, I was 7 when I started. So Ellis is working. Tell us what you're making here, Ellis.
I'm making a color. I'm making a colorful like hearts. And
Oh, beautiful. Wow, Ellis is a natural artist. He's creating art here. So until the others come in, he's working diligently. And I just love when parents and grandparents invest in their children. I have a grandparent who's paying for her granddaughter to take class here. Her granddaughter comes once a month. I gave her this free class. Today's class, by the way, is FREE. The parents don't have to pay a dime. I went out and I got sponsorship from a local bank. So let me shout out, what bank is that? And it's my bank too. M&T Bank. They are the bank sponsoring today's class, allowing children to come in to pay for free. But classes are available every weekend, preferably on a Saturday. If you're watching this video and you want your child to be a part of the classes here, call me at 302-656-6786. The classes are available every Saturday, unless something else is going on. And by the way, save the date. Saturday, October the 18th will be the 10th anniversary of LaFate Gallery. It's going to be spectacular. So come and help me celebrate. And today and tomorrow are the last days of National Black Business Month. But you know, for me, it's 365. But I'm encouraging you now, if you're watching this video, go online to www.lafategallery.com to purchase something to support a black woman-owned business. For a black woman to be owner of a business and keep it open for 10 years, that's no easy feat. That is remarkable. It is remarkable in this day and age. 10 years to be in business. So help me. Be a part of the village. Support my business. Go online, www.lafategallery.com to purchase art. If you're in the city of Wilmington, Delaware, come on over to 227 North Market Street in Wilmington. And the hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 5. Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video. And invest in your children. Art is more than beauty on the wall. Art is wealth. Let's make our children wealthy. Let's equip them with skills that they can grow up to be business people too. Thank you.